So I ended up finding my room. Upon waking up, I felt like the room was moving. I thought that perhaps my metabolism was unable to handle the toxins of the previous night. Even after showering and waking myself up, I still had the strange feeling. Then I looked outside. There were high winds and it was making the water very choppy, so choppy that you could feel the boat swaying. I knew it couldn't have been my metabolism failing. Given the inherent risk of seasickness mixed with the partying of the night before, I expected that many people would likely be vomiting this morning. Stepping outside my room, I didn't take any footage, but I was right. The waters were so choppy they had to make an announcement at breakfast.
This is Federico from the bridge. As you can feel, we have some strong winds and high seas which are causing some motion in the ocean. So I would like to ask you to be careful while walking around the ship. Please use all available handrails and watch your hands and fingers in the doorways. For ladies, please, you should refrain from not wearing the high-heeled shoes. And of course, be extra careful when you are walking on open decks, as they may become slippery and wet due to the strong wind.
To be honest, it was getting to me a little bit, but I knew that some coffee and a hearty breakfast would be just the thing I needed.
You don't feel it?
It worked, and I wanted to go get an in-person view of the waters. I couldn't, though. They had closed the entire outside due to the conditions. I had spent ample time on the outer decks of the cruise, but little inside, so I thought this might be a good time to do some exploring of the inside. So I had some coffee at the casino. The coffee went straight through me, but I came back to find that my toilet wouldn't flush. The day was presenting multiple challenges already.
Nothing happens.
I waited it out, though, and ultimately they did open the pool deck, though they kept the pools themselves closed. I decided to just relax and look out at the water, and actually it was quite a cool sight. They did ultimately open the outside deck and I got to walk along the raging waters. It really was quite relaxing. It made me tired though, and I decided to take a nap. When I woke up, I needed a drink, so I got one and decided to do some more walking around. People were gathered around watching this guy who, to my surprise, was actually playing real music, which was cool. It had gotten pretty late, but the pools were still lit up and it was a pretty neat sight to see. They were also playing Elf, which as I recall is a pretty good movie, though I haven't seen it since I put it on in the background when I hooked up with the 40-year-old meth head. After that, I decided to walk my drinks off by running down the stairs from the top floor. I made it down to the 4th floor where the main dining hall was and decided it was a good time to grab dinner. I started my meal off with crispy shrimp. I followed it up with some Caribbean chicken. Those were both really good.
Like, he is like, so he did our tour, and oh my God.
It was a breezy night, but I needed to walk off the dinner, so I put on my sweater and did some more walking around. I decided I'd have a drink by the poolside. It was kind of nice to sit by the poolside and not have to endure a bunch of screaming children. was one of the most peaceful drinks I've ever had. After that, I decided to take a walk around the ship. It had gotten quite dark and there was no one else around. It was really quite lovely looking out at the water. I thought about jumping in. I had to use the bathroom though, so I decided not to. Back in my room, I decided to prep myself for the final night's party. I turned on the TV and Celine Dion was on. Not the Celine Dion song I'd expect to hear on a boat, but a nice one nonetheless. I was determined to be even more sociable than I was at the previous night's party, so I really tried to get into the party mood.
Another year over, and a new one just begun. And so happy Christmas.
Once I felt fully ready, I headed out to the party. I was quite early arriving and ordered my first drink. As people began to pile in, the room got hotter and hotter, and it was clear that the sweater was not the right choice, so I quickly switched outfits. Upon getting another drink, 2 attractive young women sat next to me. They took interest in why I was filming, and I told them that I was a TV producer in Minnesota, and I was on the cruise to shoot a show. They asked how many subscribers I had, and I told them like 30, which was true at the time. They lost interest after that. Too bad for them. Karma's a bitch. After unsuccessfully closing the deal on that threesome, I returned to my room and turned the lights out for what would be the final time on this ship. In the morning, I'd be starting my journey home.